Brother, you're saying it's changed. Prove it.
There's a New Testament and Old Testament. I don't have knowledge, but I know for a fact it's changed.
Right, listen to what he just said. I don't have knowledge. The Bible has changed. There is an Old Testament and a New Testament.
Exactly.
Do you
That's
listen?
showing you that it has changed.
Did you? The Christians are laughing at you.
No, but
The Christians are laughing at you. Listen to your logic. I don't have knowledge.
Just show you
The
that it
Bible
changed.
has changed. There's an Old Testament and a New Testament. That's his argument.
That's it.
You don't know what you're talking about. Christians believe in the Old Testament and the New Testament as the Bible. Yeah, do we? Oh, he says he doesn't.
No, they don't.
They don't.
I'm not Christian, but
Right,
say we
are you
don't
a
believe in
Christian?
Old
Yes.
Testament.
Do you believe in the New Testament and the Old Testament? Yes.
No,
I'm a Christian. I believe in the New
friend.
Testament and the Old Testament. You're a Christian. Do you believe in the New Testament and the Old Testament?
Of course, yes.
Brother, do you believe in the New Testament and the Old Testament?
Yes.
No, they don't.
See, you're a Christian. Do you believe in the New Testament and the Old Testament? So he's lying.
I'm not saying he's lying, but
Oh, wait.
Christian, they don't believe on it.
So
I'll bring you
you've
if you
just
want.
had, go please. So you've just had Christian, all tell you, oh, just for the camera, so you were all lying. All lying. This is what the Muslim is saying. This is the kind of ridiculous logic that is used by Muslims to sustain their arguments against Christianity. Not any real study. He's literally just said he doesn't have any knowledge. So, answer this question. You said that the Bible has been changed, right? To show that the Bible has been changed, you have to be able to show me the autograph. Do you know what an autograph is?
I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. Finish your question. I'll prove it to you.
Okay, he's going to prove it to me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to substantiate,
Don't talk to the crowd.
I'm talking to everybody. If you are going to substantiate,
So you're speeching, not talking
do you want to
me.
listen to the answer or
No,
not?
you're speeching, but you're talking to the crowd.
Yeah, I'm making sure everyone can hear me.
No, nobody can.
Do you want to listen?
Yeah, go
Right,
ahead.
okay.
Quick.
So for you to substantiate that the Bible is corrupt, what you need to do is you need to produce the original document and do the comparison. Now he said he's going to prove that the Bible is corrupt, which means that he's going to show the original Injil and the original Torah and the original Zabur so that we can do the comparison and see that they are corrupt. Go on, prove it.
In academic terms, the word autograph refers to the very first copy written directly by the original author of a book. Historically, such manuscripts have not survived, not because of deliberate corruption, but simply because ancient writing materials like papyrus, leather, and parchment were fragile. As older scrolls decayed, they were replaced by new copies so the text could continue to be read in worship and teaching. Therefore, the absence of the original autograph is not a unique problem for the Bible. It is true of nearly every ancient work, whether the writings of Plato, Tacitus, or even the early Islamic texts. Yet despite the loss of the originals, the biblical text stands out for its extraordinary manuscript support. Thousands of manuscripts, written in Greek, Latin, Syriac, Coptic, and Armenian, stand as living witnesses, echoing the same message across vast regions of the ancient world. By comparing this vast body of manuscripts, scholars can scientifically trace the earliest form of the text through a discipline known as textual criticism. This method studies scribal errors, word variations, and manuscript relationships to reconstruct the reading that most closely reflects the original. Because of this wide network of witnesses, it becomes easier, not harder, to detect local mistakes and recover the earliest text. What's fascinating is that no core doctrine of Christianity depends on a disputed reading. The variations that exist are minor, differences in word order, spelling, or small liturgical notes. That's why scholars can confidently say that the New Testament we read today is, in substance, the same message the apostles taught. On the other hand, if one insists that the existence of an autograph is required to prove authenticity, that same demand would disqualify all ancient texts, including the Qur'an. In Islamic history, the Qur'an was not codified until about 2 decades after Muhammad's death, through a process of standardization under Caliph Uthman. Other versions of recitation were ordered to be burned, and the earliest surviving manuscripts, such as the Sana palimpsest, reveal differences in wording and arrangement compared to the later standardized text. This means that neither the Bible nor the Qur'an possesses its original autograph. The difference is that the biblical text remains open to multilingual critical scholarship, while the Qur'an's transmission became restricted by political standardization.
Yeah?
Yeah, do you have it? Hold on, do you have it?
The original autographs? No, we don't have the original autographs. Right, hold on.
Exactly.
Right, exactly, he says. Exactly. Now just think. Wait, wait, why are you grabbing me? Don't grab me. Don't grab me, bro. Why are you grabbing me? Control yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Relax. Keep your hands to yourself. Yeah? So, he says exactly. Exactly, try it. He says exactly. He says exactly because we don't have the original autographs. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't have the original autographs, you have nothing to compare, so you can't say that the original was lost. Because if you don't have the original to look at, you can't prove that the original was lost. You can only prove that the original was lost if you have the original and then what came later, and the two are different. But no Muslim can produce the original autographs. So they are lying to you when they say that we can prove that the Bible has been corrupted. They are lying to you because nobody has the original autographs. Not the Christians, not the Muslims, not the Jews. Which means we can't make the comparison. But here's what we do know. We know that there's over 5,000 Greek manuscripts. We know that there's over 10,000 Latin manuscripts. We know that there are over 5,000 manuscripts in ancient Slavonic, in ancient Coptic, in ancient Syriac, in ancient Gothic, and amongst a number of other languages, including Ethiopian. We know that these manuscripts were transmitted independently of one another. And we know some other things. We know that these manuscripts demonstrate that the problem that Christians really face is not that the original has been lost, but that over 2,000 years of copying, the text has picked up some extra words here and there, like the adulterae pericope, or the comma Johannan, or the longer reading of Mark. We know where these extra words are. We know when they were introduced. We are able to find their lineage, and we're able to be honest about the textual variants. The problem that Christians face isn't that we've lost the originals, it's that the originals are there with extra words. That is the problem that we face. That's the real problem of textual criticism. The reality is, brothers and sisters, that the Muslims have been lied to by their scholars, because the scholars are not being honest about what textual criticism actually reveals. Textual criticism actually reveals the stability of the text. That's what it really reveals. Not that the text has been lost, but that the text is there with some extra words. But textual criticism is now being done to the Qur'an. And one of those same textual scholars found about the Qur'an that there are different Qur'ans. Daniel Brubaker has identified different Qur'ans. Dr. R. Puyin of Germany has identified different Qur'ans. Dr. Keith E. Small has identified different Qur'ans. Muhammad Hijab asked Dr. Yasser Qadi. He said to him, Dr. Qadi, if I give you a mushaf, could you write down what was revealed by Muhammad? A mushaf is just a blank book that you write the Quran on. Now Yasser Qadi should have just said, yes, of course we can, because we've all memorized the Quran and we can just write it down and there's only one Quran. What did he actually say in reply to Muhammad Hijab's question? He said, don't push me. It's not that simple, Aki. It's not that simple. Why isn't it simple? I thought there was only one Quran and all the Muslims had memorized it. So why does Yasser Qadi, an expert of the Quran, say that you can't just take a blank book and write down what Muhammad revealed? I'll tell you why. Because he knows that there are variants as well, and we can't trace those variants back to Muhammad. That's why he said that. I'm sorry, I can't hear you through your scarf. I can't hear you through your scarf. I can't hear him through his scarf. What? Say again?
Bro.
Every ancient work, whether it's the Bible, the Qur'an, the writings of Plato, or the Chronicles of Rome, has journeyed through centuries of careful copying and transmission before reaching us today. The materials of the ancient world were fragile. Papyrus, leather, and parchment decayed over time, and older scrolls were replaced by new ones to preserve their content. This is where textual criticism comes in. It is the discipline of comparing thousands of manuscripts scattered across different regions to identify the form of the text that most closely reflects the original. By studying manuscripts of different origins, time periods, and styles, scholars can detect the patterns that reveal which readings belong to the earliest tradition and which are simply scribal mistakes. When this method is applied to the Bible, the results are remarkable. Over the past 2 centuries of research, the more manuscripts scholars have discovered, the clearer it has become that the text of the New Testament is extraordinarily stable. The differences between manuscripts, what we call textual variants, are generally minor. Changes in spelling, word order, or small liturgical notes. None of these alter the core doctrines of Christianity, Christ's divinity, his death and resurrection, or salvation by grace. In fact, through thousands of Greek, Latin, Syriac, Coptic, and Armenian manuscripts, scholars can observe a remarkable consistency, confirming that the message of the Bible has been faithfully preserved across centuries. When the same scholarly method is applied to the Qur'an, however, it reveals a layer of history that is rarely discussed in the Islamic world. Researchers such as Daniel Brubaker, Keith Small, and Gerd Puin have found that the earliest Quranic manuscripts contain real textual variations. Differences appear in letters, words, and even the sequence of verses across early codices such as the Sanaa Palimpsest, Topkapi, and Samarkand manuscripts. Islamic tradition itself acknowledges the existence of multiple canonical readings, known as Qira'at, each differing in hundreds of instances. All of this shows that the Qur'an, like every other ancient text, has a human transmission history involving memorization, copying, and eventually political standardization. Textual criticism of the Qur'an only began to develop seriously in the 20th century, whereas textual study of the Bible has been ongoing for much longer and with complete transparency. In the academic world, nothing is hidden. Every significant variant is recorded in critical editions like the Nestle Aland or UBS Greek New Testament, allowing anyone to see and evaluate the evidence. This openness actually strengthens the reliability of the biblical text. By contrast, Islamic history records that Caliph Uthman initiated a unification project of the Qur'an and ordered all other manuscripts to be burned in order to eliminate differing recitations. Through that act, Islam lost much of the physical trace of its early textual diversity.